My apologies for the late video. And my apologies because I got the Cowboys on over there. I got the sound on. But yo, Carson, yo, listen. So I had a late video because for some reason, my power goes out twice. It goes out twice. All right, it goes out twice. I got no rain over here. It goes out twice. So for whatever reason, Comcast has been a big pain in the ass for many years, but especially today. So I'm here with a late video because I had to see this game-winning touchdown drive late. So I had no idea what even happened until 4:45, 4:30ish, and Carson Wentz, he does it again. So lightning didn't strike twice over here, but the power went out, and lightning strikes twice for Carson Wentz and the Eagles. Can you believe this? With what the Eagles had offensively, for them to get this job done on a day where the defense really didn't play that well, they get it done. Carson Wentz gets it done. They put up 30-plus points going into this game with 3 healthy wide receivers. And what, 2 of them were practice squad guys? One of them basically didn't play. Robert Davis, Greg Ward, you had J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Greg Ward was the only one who caught a pass out of the wide receivers. And, of course, he catches that one in the back left corner of the end zone. What a throw, touch throw by Carson Wentz. What a touch throw. It reminded me of the 2-point play. I forget who it was against, but I think it was Nelson Aguilar who caught it in the back left corner. Same type of deal. Great catch. Greg Ward. Look at that. So what happened here with this offense? All of a sudden they're scoring points. You know what happened? They cut guys. They got rid of Matt Collins. They got rid of Jordan Matthews. They gave guys some opportunities. They gave guys some opportunities that maybe they should have had earlier on in the season. You know, that's debatable for people, obviously. But Greg Ward steps up. He stepped up. Boston Scott steps up again. And all of a sudden, the Eagles are finding a couple guys. I mean, Matt Collins, he didn't get a catch for over a month, 2 months. And then he got cut. I would have cut his ass too. And then Greg Ward steps up. What did he have? 8 catches? 7 catches for 61 yards? And then the touchdown. Steps up. So all the targets basically, you know, most of them went to the tight ends. It was heavy to the tight ends, also to the running backs, Miles Sanders, Boston Scott. The big thing the last 2 weeks has been Carson Wentz's just recognition to see the flats and get the ball out and get it to the running backs and allow them to pick up the first downs. I mean, this was such a problem for Carson earlier on in the season. Couldn't get his feet set, whether he was inaccurate with the ball, sailing the ball, or whether he just didn't even recognize it. It was such a problem. And now all of a sudden, we're cleaning up some mechanics. He's no longer pressing. He looks a lot better. The release is a lot more compact. You look at his feet. He's silent with them. Silent night. He looks a lot better than he did. He looks calm, poised, composed. Whereas earlier, maybe 3-4 weeks ago, he looked maybe a little rattled, a little unconfident. But look at him now. And this is exactly what we want to see out of Carson heading into next week against Dallas, because that's the big one. That's the big one. We're scoreboard watching. We got an eye on him against the Rams, but that's the big one next week. And I believe if the Rams beat the Cowboys, you beat Dallas in Week 16, you can rest your starters against the Giants. You can rest them. You don't even have to play them. All right. Carson Wentz gets it done. And you know what? I'm ready. Fucking ready. Who's ready? Who's ready? Who's ready for the NFC East showdown next week? Dog mask. Dog mask. Maybe next week is the game where all 3 phases finally play well in the same game. Because we still haven't seen it all season long. Defense didn't step up today. It was the offense. They put up 30-plus points with practice squad guys, with scrap heap guys. They put up 30 plus. Carson Wentz did it again. Wow. I thought they were going to win a game today like 20-13. I thought it was going to look ugly. I thought the defense was going to play well. Dwayne Haskins was going to struggle. And the Eagles were just going to kind of methodically pull away, win it 20-13. No, that didn't happen. Let me go get my hat. I can't talk in this thing. I don't know where it went. I'm pumped up. I got another hat. All right. I got my LBC, my large black Cox jersey, and he had some deep penetration today. Oh, yes, he did. All right, so let's look at the stats. All right. Oh, I don't even have the Cowboys game on. It sounds like another game. It sounds like a CBS game. That's a shame. All right. So Carson Wentz, he goes 30 of 43, 266 yards, 3 touchdowns, quarterback rating of 109.3. Miles Sanders. How about Miles Sanders and how he's developed as the season's gone along? He looked fantastic. I mean, that 3rd and 11 burst. That might have saved them the game. It was a 3rd and 11. He picked up, 70? What was the long? It was a 56-yard run on that, where he just saw the seam and he just huge burst. No hesitation. And that's the thing that I've been seeing out of him recently. Less and less hesitation. More assertiveness. More decisiveness. Or less decisiveness. More decisiveness. I'm confusing myself. But Miles Sanders, 19 for 22. Boston Scott, they get him involved again. So he catches 7 balls for 39 yards, 6 carries for 26. So he still picks up over 4 yards of carry. So Scott almost used that as like a Darren Sproles type. So we see him in some jet sweep motions. I believe he got 1 carry out of that where they gave him like that pop pass. They lined him out in the slot a couple times. So they basically played him as almost like a Darren Sproles type. And, this is great that they kind of, found him and able to incorporate him into the offense. So incorporating him and Greg Ward, it's these two. And this is almost reminding me of what happened last year with the cornerbacks. So late in the season, Eagles here, kind of figuring some stuff out. They figured out they had Greg Ward. They've had Greg Ward for like 2 years now. Greg Ward has shown stuff in the preseason for a while, the quickness that he exhibits. But it didn't surprise me that Matt Collins made the team because the special teams, what they always talk about with special teams. We obviously knew before the season. Well, we thought before the season that the Eagles were going to have a great wide receiving core because it was Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson, and Nelson Aguilar. They were talking about, nicknaming him DNA, and then everybody got hurt. None of them are even left. So Matt Collins, who was supposed to be a special teams / block wide receiver, is all of a sudden thrust into an important spot, and he just wasn't able to do it. And it was like 7 or so weeks that he had where he didn't even record a catch. So they finally cut bait. They cut bait with Jordan Matthews. They basically started from scratch. And now you see, guys, Greg Ward, Robert Davis, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside getting more snaps. And they're finding something here in Greg Ward. So 7 catches, 61 yards, and the big touchdown to put the Eagles in front. Greg frickin' Ward. Zach Ertz, 5 for 61. I don't remember if I said him or not. Dallas Goedert, 5 for 55. Had that big catch, the left-handed, one-handed catch. That was a thing of beauty. Beautiful. All right, defense. All right, so, I guess I'll just look at this. So, Dwayne Haskins. Defense made Dwayne Haskins look pretty good. I mean, he was 19 to 28, 261 yards, 2 touchdowns, quarterback rating of 121.3. Adrian Peterson, 16 carries for 66 yards, so he was able to maintain a average of above 4, so 4.1 yards per carry. Washington receivers, you had Terry McLaurin, 5 for 130 and a touchdown. So he was the one that hit the Eagles for a 69-yard touchdown in the first game of the season. Goes for a 75-yarder where so they switched their like they did a late switch with I think it was McLeod and Maddox. And when you switch like that, Maddox has to get back there immediately. He has to get back there in a hurry. And he kind of like, not that he hesitated, but he lollygagged too much. And he didn't really put himself in a position to make a tackle on this quick slant that resulted into a touchdown. And that really kind of gave the Redskins momentum there, because the Eagles, I believe, just drove for a field goal. They had a long, methodical drive, and then they had the touchdown, and the Eagles' offense right back on the field again. So there was that. Steven Sims had 5 catches for 45 yards and a touchdown. That was their second leading receiver. So for 3 quarters, he played well. And then the fourth quarter happened, and he had a drop. And what was the other play? Yeah, the other play where he didn't get upfield for the first down. I mean, you got to be smarter than that. So there we go. That's it. All right. So from what I saw, initial instincts, Fletcher Cox kind of did what he was able to do. Did his thing, and I do know that Brandon Sheriff was out, so it was kind of a mismatch problem for the Redskins there. But yeah, he really had his way. That option play was a big play for the Redskins. They ran it twice, and it fooled the Eagles twice. So the first time it occurred, that Dwayne Haskins faked the option flip to the right because BG had it covered, and then once he faked it, BJ came off of him to go on to Haskins, and then Haskins eventually flipped it out to AP for a big game. Or did he keep it? I don't even remember what happened. But the second one he didn't keep. He kept it himself, and he had a big alley for a first down. And Jannard Avery got fooled on that. So that play worked out twice. A play out of the Ohio State playbook. Yeah, but, I didn't think the pressure was consistent enough. Let's see. Did they record a sack? It says they didn't record a sack. They had a sack taken away because of a penalty. I remember Nate Jerry. But pressure, I didn't think was there as consistently as it should have been. I mean, it kind of looked like week 1 a little bit, where Case Keenum, just like Dwayne Haskins, had time to throw, and these young receivers, were essentially getting open. And they had some big plays. Obviously we talked about with McLaurin. Steven Sims also had a touchdown. Yeah, I think, yeah, he had a touchdown. But the pressure wasn't as consistent as it should have been, and the Eagles got beat. And this is, it seems like this is what happens with the defense at times on the road. On the road they can let up some points. At home, they look like they play better. This was the case in 2017 as well. And on the road, it's just kind of a different beast. But this was about Carson Wentz and the offense. I mean, they would not have won this game two or 3 weeks ago. Earlier in the season, they would have not won this game. The way Carson played today, to be able to, see the flats better than he did earlier in the season. He wouldn't have recognized the flats. They would not have scored. Well, they obviously had the late Bradham touchdown on the final play there, but they wouldn't have scored the 31. They really scored 31, not 37. But they wouldn't have scored the 31. They would have had 24 or 23, because he wouldn't have recognized the flats as much. He wouldn't have moved the chains as much. He saw the field. He's seeing the field better than he did earlier in the season. And this was something we could even see on the TV. If you don't even have to scout on the all 22. You could see sometimes that the flats were open. He just wasn't getting them out in time, and he's recognizing it better. I mean, how many receptions did the running backs have? 6 for 50, 7 for 39. Of course, they're getting screens too mixed in, which You got to call a lot of screens with the wide receivers the way that they are. But some of these were simply just getting the ball out to the flats and taking the 5, 6, 7 yards that were there, especially on third down when you can move the chains. And I'm sure the Eagles were very good on third down today because they look like they were very. Yep, there you go. 11 of 16 they were. 11 of 16. I mean, they were in 16 third downs, but like I'm sure it seemed like a lot of them they were in third and manageable. They were staying ahead of the chains today, which for a couple weeks there it was so difficult for them to even get a first down. Again, it is the Giants. The Redskins actually at least have like a solid defense. They didn't have Ryan Kerrigan today, which helped for the Eagles because he normally gives Halapoulivaati Vaitai, a big run for his money. I mean, he's manhandled him in the past, but no Ryan Kerrigan today. And they were able to get to Carson a couple times because, again, this is probably the thing that he's got to get fixed the most is the fumbles. He put the ball on the ground twice today. 2 more times. The Eagles recovered the one. The other one resulted into the go-ahead field goal for the Redskins before the touchdown that Carson Wentz had to lead the Eagles on because he made a mistake. So that's something he still needs to get corrected. He still needs to get that fixed. Where he's scanning the field, he's not seeing the guy coming from behind. Stuff like that. What else? Yeah, so there was that. Washington side of the ball. I mean, Jonathan Allen had a big game. Cole Holcomb, he's been a guy that's looked impressive for them in recent weeks. Jonathan Allen, he did have a big game. All right, that's pretty much it on my thoughts for this one. Eagles, they're starting to find something offensively. They're starting to build some momentum heading into this Dallas game. Whereas we'll see about the Cowboys. Right now, I see the Cowboys are up 7-0 over the Rams. The Rams have the ball. I'm not sure where they have the ball, but all right, there's that. So really doesn't matter what happens there as long as the Eagles take care of business next Sunday. Well, it kind of does matter because if the Rams win, all of a sudden you don't have to worry about Week 17 as long as you take care of business next week. I think that's what it is. Actually, no, you do have to win all 4. Now I'm confusing myself. Whatever. All right. I'm out of here. I'm going to go watch the Dallas game. Actually, I'll take some questions real quick. I'm starting to think J-Jaw is a bust, honestly. What happened today? Did he have a drop? I'm trying to remember. He had a drop, didn't he, on the post? That ball was delivered late. There was some pressure that came. He had to slide to his left that allowed the DB to come there late. But I thought that was the ball he should have caught. Mile High Seahawks fan says, y'all still one and done, but congrats. Hey, I'm glad you think we're making the playoffs. Got to make the playoffs first. Yeah, it'll probably be the Seahawks in the playoffs. Smith and Weston says Carson missed some throws and had those fumbles, but came up clutch when it mattered. And that was the thing, obviously, because that was the narrative coming into the year, coming into these games that he couldn't come up clutch, and maybe that's a narrative that he can start flipping now. So I thought last year against Dallas, if you remember, he had those touchdown drives late. The Eagles lost in overtime. But I thought that was the game where he really turned the corner in terms of the fourth quarter clutch thing. And, he did it again, obviously, today. So I'll wait till next year to label JJ a bust for sport. Yeah, that's the proper way to describe it. Yeah, he's been a disappointment. We've seen a lot of other rookies do things for their respective teams. I mean, even we see Terry McLaurin for the Redskins, and we're seeing J.J. Ortega-Whiteside not really doing much of anything. Ooh, that's a good question. What were you most impressed with, the Greg Ward touchdown catch or the Miles Sanders touchdown catch? That Miles Sanders throw through the sea of defenders, that ball was on a rope. That ball was on a rope. And that ball may have been dropped earlier in the season. I'm not going to lie to you. Probably would have been dropped. Caught there. What a throw. I'd say it was that one, but both of those throws were a thing of beauty. This defense, something needs to happen. You know what it is, man? It's just it goes back to something I said earlier in the video. We still haven't had a game where all three phases have played well in the same game. This was a game where the offense played well. Defense didn't play well. And that's been the thing. It's like the offense is finally coming around again, right? Defense is starting to let them down. Needs to come around again for the defense. Starting to come around for the offense. Can they keep it going next week against Dallas? Okay, let's keep the offense going. But the defense needs to play better. And the defense and the offense and the special teams, they all need to play together and mesh together and have it go together in the same game. All right. That's going to be it for here. All right. I'm going to hop out of here, watch the Dallas game, and I got to write a recap too. All right. That's it. I'm Adrian Fedq. I'm out. For the comment, yes, I do have a large black cox on my chest. I did it purposely. I got a large BBC or a large LBC. Fletcher Cox. Deep penetration. What'd you think? I was going to get a white cox or a green cox? Not from Mars. I'm going to get a black cox. I'm loaded down there. All right, I'm out. Peace.